Welcome everyone to tonight's presentation of YoCoin. And folks, I'm super excited to be your host here today. We have an awesome presentation. We're going to be talking about a few things. So if you have pen and paper, I know almost nobody uses pen and paper anymore, but if you do, take some notes. We're going to have a dialogue here tonight. And this is going to be part presentation, part information, if you will, because we're going to talk about several things, starting with the internet. We're going to talk about terms like blockchain and mining and cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, altcoins, and YoCoin, which is the reason why you're here today. So, some of these things may be foreign. Don't worry about it. We're going to go through it simply. And if you don't get all of this, don't worry, because, you can always come back, watch the information again. This is going to be recorded. But the point of this is to really educate and inform the public of what only 6% of the entire world population is currently aware of. And that's that cryptocurrency, folks. Listen to me very, very carefully. Cryptocurrency is no longer the future. The blockchain technology is no longer the future. It is the present. And folks, we have an opportunity right now, because think about that for a second. If only 6% of the entire world population know about what we're going to talk about today, and I kid you not, this is going to have massive adoption, just like the internet. And so that's where we're going to start off today. We're going to start talking about the internet. And the reason why, folks, is that when I got dragged into, kicking and screaming into the world of direct sales, it was because of a product that was going to revolutionize telecommunication. It wasn't really the product; it was the technology, and what made that technology possible was the internet. I think that every single person on this call, we have people from all parts of the world right now. We have people from the U.S., from Europe, from Central and South America that are on this webinar. And today, I've been doing presentations with Europe specifically, with different parts of the world. And that could not be possible if it wasn't for voice internet protocol. That's what we're using right now. In order to do this presentation, we just did an audio and video check. But guess what, folks? It wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the internet. See, before that, we would have to be in the same place at the same time, in the same room to make this possible, or we would have to do it over the landline and not have the visuals that we're going to go through here today. So that's when webinars were born, and we've been doing webinars before they were even called webinars, because we were right at the beginning when analog telephone service was going to switch out to digital phone service. And so now everybody's familiar with Vonage, everybody's familiar with Skype, Magic Jack, Google, and all these different things. And nobody has landlines anymore, because obviously we moved over to a mobile platform. We all have cell phones now. And guess what? We're using the data plans mostly to text and to surf the web and to do all those things from our phones. So really, the internet disrupted the way we communicate. Okay, it disrupted telecommunications. And once again, this presentation right now would not be possible if it was for the internet. Now let's take a look at some other industries. Let's take a look at the taxi industry that for, 50, 60, 100 years, I don't know, was just a monopoly, right? The yellow cabs, taxi cabs, those types of things. And so now Uber, that just came out in 2009. I mean, I could just look back and, there's 2009. In less than 10 years, folks, is now valued at over $50 billion. And now from the power of the palm of our hands with a smartphone device, we could download an application, we could call a taxi cab, or a private driver, if you will, private vehicle that is going to take us from point A to point B. It's going to be more efficient. It's going to be less expensive. And we're going to be able to rate the person and actually pay through that application. I mean, that's powerful. Why is that possible? The internet. So it disrupted the way we transport ourselves, the transportation industry. Then we have things like Airbnb that disrupted the hotel industry. We have, the Hilton brand. Everybody's probably stayed at a Hilton before. Over $1 billion brand. Airbnb has surpassed the Hilton brand. took them 50 years to achieve what they've achieved. And in less than 10 years, Airbnb is now valued at $25.5 billion, folks. Now think about this. This is a simple website that connects people with other people that have something to rent out, a room or a house for people that are traveling. Now, what's the point of this? Well, the point is that the internet made that possible, and a simple website has outperformed the Hilton brand in just the span of less than a decade. Trading, that's my world. I own a trading company, folks, where it would have been possible, 20 years ago. But now with the internet, you don't have to pay a guy in New York. You don't have to pay a guy in Chicago to trade for you, right? Whether it's futures, options, or Forex or whatever. Now you could do that from your home. That's a $4 trillion a day industry. And guess what? Because of the power of the internet, those markets were actually disrupted and made possible that you and I can now trade just with our computer and internet connection, folks. Shopping, retailing, everything is down here in the country. Walmart, Target, Macy's, Sears, over the last few years have declining sales. And the only thing that's been boosted up is online sales. Amazon, eBay, Facebook, all these different things, Google, 117% in growth. So why am I talking about all of these things? Folks, because the internet has disrupted every single aspect. And you want more proof? Social media. The way we socialize has changed. Why? Because of the internet. So it was only natural, it was only a matter of time before the internet was going to disrupt the financial institutions. It was only a matter of time before the banking system was going to be disrupted. The way we exchange money, the remittance industry was going to be disrupted. So that's what we have right now. The internet, well, let's skip that right now, that video. We don't want to play that right now. But the blockchain revolution, folks, okay, is what the internet was for information and everything that we just talked about right now. The blockchain is to everything that has value. Now, what is the blockchain? Now, I told you we're going to talk about a few things, right? The internet and the blockchain go hand in hand. Why? Because what the internet is for information, the blockchain is for value. So in terms of housing or storing or moving anything of value, the blockchain is the newest, fastest, most secure, unhackable, super, mega, uber database that exists. So think about the blockchain as simply the most sophisticated, unhackable database that can actually move information from one point to another that has value, whether it be medical records, whether it be titles to your home, to your car, whatever, or cryptocurrency. Now, folks, the simplest way for me to describe cryptocurrency is that it is money. And so we're going to talk about that today. So this is really no longer the future. This is the now. This is the present. So what people are saying, the experts are saying, that the blockchain is going to be more impactful than self-driving cars, solar energy, or artificial intelligence. And this is what's going to have the greatest impact on the future of the world economy has already arrived, and that's called the blockchain, folks. So I'm not sure if you could hear this, but this is Blythe Masters. Let me go ahead and pause this real quick. And Blythe Master has managed a $3.5 billion investment account for JP Morgan. So she's going to kind of explain what the blockchain is. I'm not sure if the transmission is going to be really good here on this presentation, so I'm just going to pause it here. But just to kind of just summarize what she says, she explains that because of the efficiency, the security, the seamless way in which the blockchain allows transactions to happen peer-to-peer, it makes there's a long list of benefits that actually makes it more affordable for companies to actually use the blockchain in terms of storing information or moving information from one place to another. So this is very, very exciting, folks. Now that's from somebody that manages $3.5 billion. So, let's pay attention. The blockchain, folks, is an open ledger. So you can actually go to blockchain.info, and this particular blockchain here is going to keep a record, a ledger, if you will, of every single transaction that is happening in the number one currency. Now, each cryptocurrency has its own blockchain, folks, but this one specifically, the one that I'm showing you right now, is the Bitcoin blockchain. So if you have not heard of Bitcoin, let me tell you this. In 2009, the very first massively adopted cryptocurrency was born, which is Bitcoin. Not that it was the first cryptocurrency, but it's the one that took off. It was the one that was accepted. It's the one that actually created the market, that created the space, and has done some incredible things. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But this open ledger shows you every single minute-by-minute transaction that happens all around the world with this particular cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin. And when we pause here for a minute, I'll take you to the blockchain, and we'll take a look at that, and you'll see what I'm talking about in real time. Now, what is cryptocurrency? Now, we're not going to go through every single aspect to really try to define every little thing about it, but just know that a cryptocurrency is made through the resolving of complex mathematical algorithms, equations. And the reward for doing this and to verifying transactions on the blockchain gives you a reward which is known as a block of coins. That's it, folks. Now, if you feel like your head's about to explode, me too. But we don't have to understand that, because here's the reality. Cryptocurrency exists and it has value, and I'm going to prove it to you in just a second. But what's really cool about cryptocurrency is that it's open, it's anonymous, and it's secure, and it's fast, and it bypasses all traditional financial structures. So we could actually move money from peer to peer at a fraction of what it would cost by doing it through traditional means, whether it was MoneyGram, Western Union, banks, whatever, doing a credit card transaction. It's the most affordable and fastest, most efficient way to move money from one place to another. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the history of money. It started when we were exchanging goods that I cannot grow or provide for myself. I would exchange what I could produce for something that I couldn't, right? And that was basically the first way of monetary exchange, was just exchanging goods for other goods. Then we came to the realization that that wasn't very practical to be able to do that for everything. So gold came on the scene, and we started changing gold for whatever it is that we needed. But then that wasn't very practical either, so we developed coins. Okay, so the more something costs, the more coins you would have. Could get very inefficient to be carrying around all of that. So as things progressed, we went to what is now known as fiat currency. And if you see that, that's what most of us have grown up with. And then during our lifetime, this became super popular, which are debit cards, credit cards. They're attached to our bank account. And so we don't have to carry the cash anymore as long as we have the plastic. Now, would you and I agree that it took a while for us to get really comfortable with using a debit card or using a credit card? It didn't happen overnight. But then when we kind of we look at it now, it's like it's here and it's now and it's self-evident. Well, there were people, I remember I was one of them. I didn't want to use one of those cards. I want to use cash. And I hanged on to cash for as long as possible. And if I'm completely transparent and honest, I do not leave my house if I don't have at least some cash in my pocket. Even though I have about 4 or 5 of these, I still carry cash. It's just ingrained in me. But the vast majority of the people probably do not carry cash anymore. They use plastic. So what I'm trying to point out to you folks is that as times have evolved, as new economies have arisen, as new ways of doing things, as technology has evolved, we have gone from different ways of transacting. And so right now, we're already dealing in ones and zeros, right? This is all digital money when you think about a credit card. Well, how does that work? You swipe a card and somehow money is exchanged, but really nothing happened, right? So it's all digital money already. We're just not realizing that there is a new and more efficient way to do this, and that is through cryptocurrency. Now, folks, remember this. Only 6% of the entire world population even knows that Bitcoin or any of the other 2,000 cryptocurrencies that currently exist that are real currencies, nobody knows about. Why? Well, it's not self-evident just yet. But this is moving lightning fast, folks, that by the time this opportunity is self-evident, it's going to pass you by. Just like the opportunity of Bitcoin, if you miss that, you'll understand what I'm talking about.